Hello everybody, I am the Celebration Man, and today is January 27th. That's a very special day to me because today is Chocolate Cake Day, and chocolate cake is one of my very favorite things in the entire universe. So we're going to bake a chocolate cake with all the steps and ingredients shown, and then I'm probably going to eat all of it. Probably going to get myself some diabetes. Worth it. As always, we'll need to begin the process by gathering all of the necessary tools and ingredients. First up, a mug of hot tea. That doesn't go in the cake, that's just for me. A bowl, 13 by 9 inch cake pan, measuring cup, measuring spoons, baking soda, sugar, flour, cocoa, butter, milk, can of frosting, baking chocolate 56% semi-sweet. Yikes, measuring cup. And we'll be mixing it all up here in the KitchenAid mixer. You can use a hand mixer for this, or you can mix it by hand. It doesn't really matter, I'm just lazy. Add 1 2/3 cup of plain white sugar to the mixing bowl. Add 2/3 of a cup of butter, softened but not melting. And get the mixer going on a low speed. You can speed it up after a little while. Every now and again, stop it and check the consistency of it with a spoon. What you want is something that's creamy and a little bit fluffy, kind of like this, but well beaten together. The next ingredient to add is the eggs. We're going to add those one at a time while the mixer is beating the mixture on a low speed. Put the first 2 eggs in and let them combine with the mixture. If it's not combining well, you may need to turn the mixer off and scrape everything that's stuck up in the beater out with a spoon. Run the mixer until the mixture is once again well combined, and then add the final egg. Does it matter which color eggs you use? No, it doesn't, you egg racist. That's all combined well. We're going to turn that off and push that to the side for a second. Next, we're going to combine all of the dry ingredients in a bowl. 2 cups all-purpose flour, 2/3 of a cup of cocoa powder, 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. Mix that all together nice and good with a fork. That's good, and now we need some milk. 1 1/3 cup of milk to be precise. Take your dry mixture, add a little bit of it to the wet mixture, then blend that in. Then add yourself a little bit of the milk. Let that blend in as well. Alternate adding a little bit of the dry mix and a little bit of the milk until you've got everything fully combined. Before you call it done, turn the mixer off, lift the beater out, and scrape down the sides of the bowl to make sure that all the ingredients blend all the way in. Now that it's fully blended, lift the beater out. Undo that. Shake it out and tap it out on the side of the bowl. And we've got ourselves a batter. Now, in the days of my youth, I used to like a lot of the easy 20-minute online recipes. And most of those chocolate cake recipes would have this step go like pour the batter right into the pan. Don't bother with greasing or flouring it. It'll come out fine. The point is, the people who write those internet recipes are dirty fucking liars and they're going to hell. Grab yourself yon hunk of butter and start greasing that pan up good. Get the sides. It's okay to use your fingers for this if it's clean. Get a nice even spread all over the pan. If you don't, part of that cake is going to stick and it is not going to be good. Note, this gets very messy. Currently washing my hands for about 3 minutes so far. In the days of my late youth, I had evolved more sophisticated recipes, and they said to flour the pan after buttering it. But that makes the outside of your cake look pretty funny. So then I asked my grandma what to do, and she told me use cocoa powder instead of flour. So we're just going to have a light dusting of cocoa powder. And we're going to use our hand skin to spread that all around. Get up on the sides. Again, very messy. Washing my hands. Probably should have put the cocoa powder in before washing my hands. Next, grab your batter and a big old spoon and pour it out into the pan. Scrape the sides to make sure you get all the batter. Take the back of your spoon, spread it all around the pan so that it's even. It should only about half fill the pan, and that's good because it's going to rise. Next, we'll place our greased, battered pan into an oven at 350 degrees. Now, this point of the cooking process is what's known as waiting. And normally you'd need a timer for this. You need to check the cake in about 35 minutes, and it might be done in about 40 or so. But that's not how I roll. So I just grab a box set of whatever show runs for about 42 minutes an episode, you know, without the commercials and everything. And I check the cake when they're about to solve the problem, but haven't quite yet. It's usually about 35 minutes in. Gives them a nice 5-10 at the end for exposition and all that. Well, Daniel found the go old thing and Teal'c made a face because Jack made a pop culture reference that he didn't get, and Sam looked on disapprovingly. So it's about time to check the cake. Stick a toothpick in there, right in the center. Down to the bottom, pull it out. We still have some uncooked batter on that toothpick. Needs to go until they're, about ready to roll the credits. Or about 6 or 7 more minutes. Well, General Hammond was just very acerbic about how they handled the situation, so it's time to check the cake again. Toothpick. Look at that. Nice and clean. This cake is done. Let's pull it out of the oven. We're going to set this to cool on top of a wire rack and go finish the episode. Start another one, wait for the team to get into deep shit, and then we're going to frost it. Now, normally this would be the point in the cake making process where I'd make some good old-fashioned buttercream frosting. But I don't have some of the ingredients for it, and it's not going to be chocolate cake day for much longer because I got started a little late. So I'm going to try something. I'm going to take this container of Betty Crocker rich and creamy cream cheese frosting and empty it into this bowl here. Mr. Spoon is, as always, a wonderful help in this. Now, I've never actually done this before, so I'm basically winging it. And it's definitely okay if you got some on your fingers to lick it off. Got that in the bowl there. Next, I'm going to take 8 squares, 2 ounces of that 56% cacao baking chocolate, and I'm going to run it through the microwave at half power for 20 or 30 second intervals until it's nice and melty. Well, about 5 minutes of half power cooking is what took it to get to this nice melty but not melted stage. So now we're going to make a depression in the cream cheese frosting, and we're going to scrape the chocolate all up in there. Now that the chocolate is in the depressing, we'll fold it in and mix this frosting up. Gonna have to add just a little bit of sugar in there to bring the sweetness back up. I'm going for about a 1/16 of a cup. I don't have a 1/16 of a cup measure, so I'm using a 1/2 of an 1/8 cup. Let's mix that all up in there. Get it nice and smooth. Give that another taste. Right then, it's been about 20 minutes and the cake top is cool enough to touch, so we're going to put the frosting on. You have to wait for it to cool down or the top of your cake will tear with spreading the frosting. The proper tool for this is a spreader or a rubber spatula, but both of mine have disappeared into the ether, so a spoon it is. Be gentle with the spreading because even though the cake is cool to the touch now, it still might tear a little on the top. For best results, you should let it cool down to room temperature, but I have to take this cake somewhere so that a whole bunch of people that are not me can eat it. Once again, it is perfectly acceptable to lick excess frosting off. And there we have it, a nice frosted chocolate cake for Chocolate Cake Day.